Gucci belly drive me crazy, singing this Hindi melody. Love it.
Gucci, 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 la la. Put no pepper in the chala. You know nothing of the past there. They're not speak Spanish very well. Gucci, la la.
She Betty whiny,
La la.
look Betty grind,
La la.
oh Betty
Gucci,
grind,
la. Gucci, la la.
Betty
Gucci,
whiny,
la la.
look Betty grind,
Gucci, la la.
oh Betty dance.
Gucci, la.
They ask she if she using cocaine. She say nah, this is natural brain. All the music fire she has, it's that one how she acting so dread. Say she often wonder why people use drugs to get so high. She loves the bacchanal, but the end is always natural.
Gucci, 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 la la. Put no pepper in the chala. You know nothing of the past there. They're not speak Spanish very well. Gucci, la la. Gucci, la la. Gucci, la la. Gucci, la. Gucci, la la. Gucci, la la. Gucci, la la. Gucci, la.
Way that Betty started wine, the action was a real blue mine. With such grace and style, all our granny gone wild. Yeah, if police hold she tail, she not going to make no jail. She father Laura Marat, and you get she off the chart. Go!
Gucci, 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 la la. Put no pepper in the chala.
Christmas last year I spent in China. I had some fun in Chinatown. In front my door, out on the street, I heard music, it was sounding sweet. I look outside to see who was playing. It was some Chinese playing music for me. Wang sing pung pong, chang sing woo wang, pung wang chong. That's how they song. Jingling ching, jingling pang, pung sing pung wing, wang woo wing. That's how they sing. Chinese parang, Chinese parang, Chinese parang, wang wang wang. Chinese parang, Chinese parang, Chinese parang. Give me just to Tyson.
One time, two time, two time. Oh.
I open my door and invite them in. The leader of the band start introducing. One name Ling Long, he write the song. One name Lin Sing, he kept on singing. Mr. Ping Chang was the main quattro man. Ah Chong and Lee, they were back up for he. Pong sing, pung pang, wong sing, wong wong, pung sang chong. That's how they sung. Jingling wang, jingling pong pang, pung sing wing, pung pang ching. That's how they sing. Chinese parang, Chinese parang, Chinese parang, wang wang wang. parang, give me jasu kaipan.
Oh yeah, 1, 2, 3, yeah.
The girls in the band sounding real sweet. I had no choice but to move my feet. Sully on top, Kim Loy on bass, mailing, dancing and rolling she waist. Mr. Pingshan kept on in his quattro, but what they saying I really don't know. Wang sing wong wang boom sing boom pong pong sing boom chong. That's how they song. Jingling ling jingling wang sung sing boom pong wang boom ping ping. That's how they sing. Chinese parang, Chinese parang, Chinese parang, wang wang wang. Chinese parang, Chinese parang, Chinese parang. Give me chasu kaipan.
Kau didokkan lai. Alright. Oh.
I told them take a break and it piece a cake, but they told me no, let's get on with the show. When they finished sing, they came in my kitchen and at my table they was staring. I offered them ham, turkey and fowl, but all they wanted was just to cat and fowl. Bong sing boom bong chong sing boom wong bong song bong. That's how they song. Jingling wang jingling ping.
Yes, indeed, of course, pleasant good night to all on Century, East, West, North, South, Central, our friends in Tobago, and wherever you are, streaming on the World Wide Web, pleasant good day to you. Yes, this is the Thursday edition of the Corridor Transformation, your nightly, of course, program, except on a Friday. Today, of course, being the penultimate day before, of course, I take my sabbatical. I did, of course, take some rest during the course of the week, but from the ground report, I find it, well, let me put it this way, because of the time that I felt under the weather, I was able to recover by the time, on the same day, by the time the corridor transformation was ready, of course, to the end. So, it appears that there's a gravitational pull, and of course, towards perfection. But that being as it may, of course, we will continue with the Forex situation in Trinidad and Tobago, and you better listen very carefully tonight. And while, of course, it did in fact start with the whole situation with respect, of course, to the presentation by Dave Tanku, a very expert one, a very professional one, a very efficacious one, a one that is riddled with academic, what I consider to be jargons and intent and expressions, but nonetheless very simple for any common sense person to understand. The only people that cannot understand or will not understand or refuse to understand or deliberately act as though they're stupid are the members of the Rowley government, including him, who of course constantly try to hoodwink us and change their position as a chameleon. You know what's a chameleon? It's not a comedian, even though of course comedian can be applicable to them. But a chameleon of course is an animal, what we call at 24 hours. They just change their skin color according to the environment in which they exist. Of course it is called camouflage. A big word, but it simply means that they're trying, of course, to cover up their inadequacy and their inability to manage the affairs of the country. So that during the budget, of course, you would have heard that everything is hunky-dory, the budgetary presentation, that is. But sometime after, when, of course, they had to make the case for the Trinidad and Tobago Revenue Authority Imber then sends an affidavit to the courts saying, well, listen, things in that honky-dory for the next 3 years. And as a consequence, you have to wait until 2027 in order to get some kind of respite and to get some kind of semblance of emerging out of the poverty-stricken policies and programs and actions of this government. But that means, as it may, people, let's listen to a little bit of Daisy before, of course, we go deep into this particular topic. And finally, of course, treating with the Forex situation. So many things have emerged as a consequence. Last night, of course, we did some. The night before, we did some. But I think where the money gone and we want back our money must be the refrain. Where the money gone and we want back our money. And of course, only one group of persons are responsible, the government, led by Chief Christopher Rowley. At that level of rapscallionism, that level of greed, that level of perfidiousness, that is to say betrayal, yes, it must be a case of collective treason. Let's hear Daisy before, of course, we get into the topic of tonight.
Farewell, Tanti Daisy. You live forever in our memory. And from now every December, your blessed name we'll always remember. You go to glory, You singing for the Virgin Mary now. I could see the bouquet in your hand, singing sweetly in the promised land. Tell me where she gone. I want to know where Daisy gone. Tell me please where she gone. I want to know where Daisy gone. She sang so sweetly to make us happy. So Christmas when we make it merry, sing one for Daisy. Tell me where she gone. I want to know where Daisy gone. Tell me please where she gone. I want to know where Daisy gone. Everybody glad and making merry. This is how we must remember Daisy. No big ceremony or no big fuss.
The status quo works for the PNM and their friends, family, and financiers at the expense of you, ordinary citizens and genuine businesses in this country. This explains why a former governor of the central bank was hounded out of office because he dared to reveal the existence of a foreign exchange cabal.
Yes, indeed, of course, persons, people, of course, you would recall, of course, this begins, of course, the closure of this particular issue surrounding, of course, the foreign exchange. And don't forget, of course, we will be also, of course, looking at the recent developments with respect, of course, to the Auditor General, because it has a correlation, a relationship. And what is the common thread? The common thread is the incompetence, impotence, and of course, the arseness of a group of individuals who are total backsides and believing that somehow they could fool the people in perpetuity and they could remain in office come the 2025 general election. That is what this is all about. That's what this is all about, people. And of course, wanting the population, the electorate, to ignore what ought to have been a continuation of the administration of Kamala Prasad Bisesa since 2015. Since 2015. Want us to ignore that. And of course, replace it with incompetence, impotence, corruption, nepotism, cronyism, and all of the, what I consider to be charlatanism that is, of course, characteristic of the Rowley administration, called some kind of PNM enterprise, and that is a criminal enterprise that has, of course, unmercifully and treacherously destroyed Trinidad and Tobago, and continue so to do until we get rid of them in 2025. Let's go to the lines. Professor, good night. Welcome to the corridor. Professor, good night. Welcome to the corridor. Oh, sorry about that. Yes, go ahead. Sorry about that. I'll start over if you had started already. I didn't put the loudspeaker on the handset that I have in studio. Go ahead.
I say good night to the corridor transformation and Trinidad and Tobago. Freeport here away.
I know that you have been, through some medical issues. I don't want to detail that, except to say that I trust that you are recovering. I know that in such circumstances, it's not 100%, but certainly it's nice to know that you are here and that you are fighting, and that you are the first caller tonight, which shows that what we know to be a fighter is still, of course, fighting. But go ahead, my friend.
Yes, LENNOX has seen real trouble, but real trouble. I don't know what kind of black patch are running through. From one to the next. After I come out of hospital, the prosthetic leg, the lock, it wear and it's detached, and the leg fall out and I fall down.
Wow. Okay. That the prosthetic leg. Okay. All right.
Yes. What happened when I built the prosthetic leg in 2020? The muscles on the foot was bigger.
Oh, I see.
But now it's shrink.
Oh, I see. It has emaciated. All right. I see you coming from here.
It's playing inside. It's playing. And it's causing a tongue and a crown to repair. But I wish I could get some help through you.
All right. Great.
Because for the past year is only disaster after disaster after disaster. And just about 6 weeks ago, I had a massive heart attack.
Wow.
So, and now for about 2-3 weeks, I was asleep on a couch.
Okay.
Because I was stifling.
Okay.
But I'm feeling a little better now.
All right.
And on top of that, a good friend of mine stole my bank card.
Oh, shims.
And I don't have to tell you the rest.
Yeah, the kind of trauma you have to go through now in order to get it back. Yeah.
To get it back is one. I get it back.
Well, you get it back, okay.
What is the question? With nothing in the bank.
Yes? Or that person would have known your PIN number?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
And it happened when I was in the
hospital. Yeah. That's a crime of opportunism. Yeah.
When my son asked me for the card, I tell him all the way to look in the car. The man and them clean out the whole car and didn't find it. So when I went in the bank, it was too late.
Oh my goodness.
And he's a good friend, a good friend that I.
Well, I would expect that for you to give him, for him to know your bank card PIN, you would have trusted him. Yeah. Right. Wow.
Hey.
Wow.
So I don't know if it.
All right. Well, what we will do, I'll give you the assurance. I will ask people to contact Anne Marie as usual, my assistant, to see whatever assistance they can provide, including, of course, either the improvement or the replacement of the prosthetic leg, so that at least you will be mobile, much more independently, because in this world, the quality of life that you live is largely dependent on your ability to move around on your own volition. So I think that is something that is crucial. I sympathize with that, and I'm certainly going to do my best on this side to see if we can find some people to assist you. I'll speak a little louder. I'm trying to force you, but
yes, what I could tell you is prosthetic leg.
Yeah.
What I'm saying, I would not ask for a new prosthetic leg.
It's what?
A new prosthetic leg. I will not ask for a new leg.
Right. Okay. You want that one repaired or upgraded?
It costs in.
All right. Okay.
Yes, it costs in twice the amount to get a new one.
All right. Okay. And it will take some time as well, much longer than the one that was already fitted. Right. Have you contacted, of course, those persons who are the experts in that? I know it's not chiropractors is the name of the profession in medical terms.
Yes, I know. I spoke to them already.
All right. Okay. Great. Right. Okay.
It would cost about half the price to repair it.
Okay.
Right, and it is. Well, I could tell you the figure to make a new one. It's 20,000.
20,000. All right.
So you know, yes, I wouldn't ask nobody to do a new one for me.
All right. Okay. What I want to get from you, having regard, of course, to that, if you can WhatsApp me, maybe a little quote, you know, on this on the cost, so that people could feel a little more comfortable to contribute, if not all, but at least much more than they would want to contribute because of the size of the amount that is required, one, and to give them the assurance that certainly it is for a good cause for which we can verify.
Well, what I could do, I could go Monday and get a quotation official and send it to you.
Right, good. Yeah, and that will help because because you know how readers do it. You may have to take the initiative, and therefore, when you have it on your phone, you could pass it on to others when you give you the contact person or persons to communicate with. All right?
Yes.
Okay then. Well, keep we'll keep praying for you.
God bless.
Yes, and thank you very much, of course, for communicating. It's nice to know you are still in the land of living. One of our what I consider to be foot soldiers passed away recently, and he was a good one. His name has slipped me now, but of course he has gone to the great
Mr. Brazil.
Yes, that's right. Yes, from San Rafael. That's right. All right. So you are abreast as to what is happening. Yes.
Yes. What had happened? What had happened? A day or two before the funeral is when I came out of hospital.
Okay.
So I didn't want to take the chance to drive. But we had one of our supporter represent the ground report.
All right.
That is Miss Palmis.
Okay.
I don't know if you could remember the short lady.
Yes. Oh, yes. I remember that as well. Yes, Miss Palmis. Yes.
Yeah. She went and represented the ground report.
Great. Yeah. Andy did mention that, but because I have so many things on my mind, I was it slipped me to know that I was in fact a witness to that presentation and that name that you just called. But it's nice to know that you are keeping our best, so you could remind ourselves of course, that life is fragile, and that we must make use of it, and we probably are not living for ourselves but living for the future generations, because there are those who are going to come after us. But if we lay a proper foundation, as we are doing now, certainly Trinidad will be a better place. And you have been intrinsic in that effort and in that process.
Because both of us was in hospital almost at the same time.
Okay. Well, you see,
he was about a week or so before me.
Okay.
And when I came out of hospital, I spoke to him, and he told me, "Say, boy, I'm not feeling well. After I come to look for you."
Okay.
And then I think Anne-Marie called me and told me how he passed away and so on.
All right.
So,
All right. All right. Well,
all right,
you're
well,
singing.
you take care.
Not 100%, but you're singing.
No,
You
I'm not
know,
100%.
in a way that one will appreciate your presence on the corridor transformation tonight. All right, I'll certainly do the same on the ground report in the morning.
When I came out of hospital, I couldn't stand up,
Okay.
but I'm moving about now.
Oh, great.
I'm moving
Praise
now.
God, praise God.
Yeah, thank
All right,
God
my
for
friend.
that.
Yes, bye-bye. Have a
So
good one.
you take care. God bless.
Yes. Good. Well, people, of course, you heard it here on the corridor transformation, and you heard, of course, the plight of Mr. what we call Mr. Freeport, ardent listener, ardent supporter in more ways than one. When he was, of course, up and running, so to speak. Now he has this orthopedic issue, and he has to get, of course, an upgraded prosthetic leg, and of course he will get the quotation for me, and then of course we will place it on the system as well. And those of you who can, well, please do what you can in order to help this extremely worthy cause by a gentleman I respect deeply, one who I will go for advice from time to time in specific issues of human relations, or should I say racial relations, because he loves that topic. And of course, that being part and parcel of attempting to decry and denounce the racial connotations and the racial slurs and the racial exploitation of the PNM administration to divide and rule, and of course believe that they can dominate the African community at the expense of the Indian community, and believe that they can get away with a slim majority, as is the case today, 22 seats versus 19, and they can sail into government by those kinds of what I consider to be slipshod and underhanded, and at the end of the day demonstrating that they are totally unfit for government. And we must accept that as a pellucid and unadulterated and immutable fact. Cannot change. Immutable. Cannot change. Fact. Right. So his orthopedic experts has advised him that he must change or upgrade the orthopedic leg or the prostate leg that he has. I suppose the people who deals with that aspect of it fit it and carve it and produce it are called, of course, prosthesis. Yes, so that is the name of the experts that will treat with prosthetic legs, and of course that is a requirement right now, a need for Mr. Freeport to move around and to be mobile. But that being as it may, let's get, of course, into the gist of the matter today. Don't forget, of course, the numbers are called 337-6940, 337-6940. I would best you call this number, because these days both my assistant and myself are using this number, quite apart from using it every night for the program. So if you are calling with respect to that, I don't mind answering for that, but I have to pass it to my assistants, and it is not a productive way of course, treating tonight's program, having regard to the sensitivity and the significance of foreign exchange at this time, because even the foreign exchange that we are going to be talking about is needed to, of course, bring in the raw material that one would use, the prosthetist would use in order to, of course, construct that prosthetic leg. So that being as it may, and another, of course, program piece of information, I want to say I have been delinquent in that regard, so I want to take full responsibility. Those persons who have been on or are on Facebook. At one time, some people said that they couldn't get us on Facebook in the night. Well, I want to tell you that I had to say that we were being viewed or being aired on a different page called Alfred John. So take down that one, Alfred John. But we have since reverted back to Love Laventil. So right now you can view us on Love Laventil page on Facebook. Let me repeat. Prior, so in other words, that if you want to get programs that you may have missed prior, then you search Alfred John on Facebook. Just of course type in the search column Alfred John, and you will see, of course, there are several Alfred Johns, but you will see, of course, the one that would have images of myself and, of course, the corridor transformation with which you would be familiar. So therefore, you know you're in the right place. But moving forward, as from 2 days ago, we have reverted back to Love Laventil, L-O-V-E-L-A-V-E-N-T-I-L-L-E. But normally, when you put love and you put L-A-V, it normally shows up. But you can, of course, in the search result, having, of course, keyed in or typed in Love Lav. Let me put it that way. You will get that. And if it doesn't come up, well, then you continue the spelling of Laventil, L-A-V-E-N-T-I-L-L-E. Let me repeat that. Laventil, L-A-V-E-N-T-I-L-L-E, and of course, everybody knows love. And you will get an appreciation eventually as the political season and the interaction evolves. You will see that why we say love and how love has, of course, been part and parcel of the corridor transformation, because in itself is the acronym for a political party called Laventil Outreach for Vertical Enrichment. Let me repeat that. Love means Laventil Outreach for Vertical Enrichment. You don't have to, of course, remember that now. Of course, you have the benefit of after the program to, of course, be able to remember it, rehearse it, remember it at your convenience when you would be replaying what would have transpired tonight. So that being as it may, let us, of course, get down to the business of the Forex. And, of course, as Dave Tanku has said, that this is an extremely debilitating scenario for Trinidad and Tobago's business, and therefore the survivability of Trinidad and Tobago as a society. But before we go there, of course, we give way to the callers. So let's go straight to this call. Pleasant good night. Welcome to the corridor.
So, Mr. Lennox,
Good night
to you, sir.
Good night to you.
Well, it looks like the election is around the corner.
Election what?
Is around the corner.
Oh, yes, indeed. Yes. Well,
why I'm telling you this, it seems as though the PNM propaganda machinery is at full throttle now.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, when you see that, you know that. Yes.
All right, so why I'm telling you this is because I noticed there was a video of Kamala Prasad, the Cessa, in a Shouters Baptist headgear, and it has, and the heading was corruption UNC style.
No, I see. Yeah.
You hear what I said?
Yeah.
Right. Corruption UNC style.
Yeah. That is his signature. That is the DNA
right, so,
of course, the early PNM administration. That crooked bunch.
Yeah, but I start to laugh.
Yeah, of course.
But I start to laugh. Hear why I start to laugh.
Yeah.
Hear what I start to laugh.
Go ahead.
$3.something billion missing from the Ministry of Finance.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Courtesy the Minister of Finance.
Yes.
So they should be shameful to put that.
Yes.
Because it is fresh in our memory.
No, they will have they will have no shame, rest assured, and they believe that they will be successful this time around. Let me say two. They believe that they could be successful this time around too. Whether they try to thief,
all right, so,
whether they are minded to bring international independent observers or not. I know that right now, the call election tomorrow, the people are in fact ready, more than they
All right.
or even the UNC, to make sure that the PNM get the hell out of office.
So here the other part now.
Yeah, go ahead.
I saw something on the Newsday. I stopped buying the mainstream media paper because they are just a tool of the
Oh
state.
yeah.
They don't put
they're an extension of the PNM propaganda machinery.
Yeah. So what I saw is Manning's son.
Yes.
I think he's in the Ministry of Finance.
Yes.
He said the extension for the property tax is until what, December the 20th.
Yeah, but Imbut went on to say
but here the part,
go ahead.
But here the part that had me amazed, right?
Yes.
You and I had a discussion some months back concerning that they didn't get the threshold.
Yes.
They didn't get the threshold to make it law, which is 50%.
That's right.
Right, which is 50% will be 200,000. 200,000. So
no, 400,000 households. So you're supposed to get 200,000.
50% of 400 will be 200,000.
200. That's right. Yes.
Right. So they didn't achieve that objective.
Yes.
All right. So now I saw where he's saying by December they hope to achieve the threshold.
Yes.
So how can you put something in the public domain? How can you put something in the public domain? You didn't achieve the threshold, but you have people paying. That is illegal, that's it?
That's right.
You are criminal. You study the criminal.
Yeah, the court said that in very plain terms. But I want to explain the semantics there, because I read it as well, and I too, was all smiles.
Yeah, because I puzzle, because how can you implement something if it is not law?
Yeah.
Because you didn't achieve the threshold. I told you I don't believe that the threshold was achieved.
Yes.
And this guy on Breaking Dawn show us a document from the Freedom of Information.
Yeah.
Where the Freedom of Information said under the Ministry of Finance that there's no such document. When Stefan questioned, well, look, the threshold, we want to know how they achieve the threshold. And the response from the Ministry of Finance was there's no such document. It is upon the discretion of the Commissioner of Valuation. How a man word, I mean, his wording could stand up in court. You have to show proof that you had 200,000 people who signed the form.
That's right.
Other than that, it is illegal.
That's right. Yes.
All right, so I will listen off here.
Yes.
I think you might have a little more input on it, right?
Yeah, it's important that you listen, because I want to show you how deceptive and I used the word earlier, that kind of chameleon, meaning that kind of 24 hours changing their position from time to time because they believe that people are stupid. I will go there first.
Because what they are doing really is frightening the people, especially the older folks who are running to pay because they are. Yeah, that is illegal, man.
That's right, exactly.
That's illegal.
Yeah.
All right,
but kill them there. They will continue because they are a bunch of criminals and con men and con women. Now, for the benefit of those who may not be aware, or you may be confused, this entire process of property tax has started when the government decided, the Rowley administration decided, contrary to what they were saying on the campaign trail in 2015. Let me repeat. This entire property tax scenario that they are saying now is legal because it was eventually passed in the parliament. Its genesis started contrary to the position taken by the PNM through Rowley and Imbert. And don't get me vexed before I show you the damn clip, in 2015 when they were making the presentation of their manifesto at the Hyatt Hotel. Yes, in the presence of diplomats and who is who in the society. And Rowley took over the show, so to speak, when the journalist asked the question. Property tax is a controversial matter. I'm talking 2015. Put your mind in 2015, not today. She will get an appreciation so that you could discuss this matter with a high degree of authority and thoroughly. So listen, the journalist asks, what about property tax? It is controversial. So here in the initial response, it is not in the manifesto. It's not in the manifesto. Take note of that, because the first thing you know, it was always a con job. They deliberately left it out of the manifesto of 2015. Let's go to the lines. A pleasant good night. Welcome to the corridor.
Lennox,
Hey.
good night. Like nice and sweet. I hope you hear me clearly.
Yeah, loud and clear.
Right. You letting anybody come and take your house just so?
Of course not. That is my...
So what's stopping is them people and them talking about, oh, they frightened, they want people coming. So wait now, wherever you build for, you ain't go sign up for it?
Well, you see what as the last caller said, the PNM has developed a propensity for and a tactic to intimidate and to, even though they are not going to execute. But they develop a fear tactic because they use high office in order to achieve that. And there are people, let's face it, who are so gullible, and because they have demonstrated they are prepared to do that, like the cases that are before the court now, initiated by this government, even though they know they were lost, and even though they know it is extremely expensive, and even if they know that it is a waste of taxpayers' money and therefore contrary to their oath of office, they pursue it because they are about intimidation and, of course, vexing people, and to, of course, high-handedly deal with people because they are in the offices that they hold. That's all. But go ahead, my friend. I just want to make that point.
I understand always, you know.
Okay,
but nobody, you think everybody that stupid? You go let anybody come in your place to try to tell you they taking out your fridge and your TV and all them set of quotations and all kind of thing them talking about over the years. If you can't pay proper, they will come in here and you could fool me that. But if them come by me and try to think I go by him, but I'm born yours, I tell you.
Well, I want to tell you why I'm not encouraging you, but I want to say it's a fair situation. If you want to take away, if you want to kill me, I must have the option to deal with you first. Right? I don't want to die. I must be able to have the option to deal with you first. I'll coach it in that way. Yes.
So you have to work, and while you listen, owning a place not cheap, you know. Because
that is the greatest investment any human being could make. That and a vehicle these days.
And let me tell you something now. Through the crime now, people have to invest in more burglar-proof alarm, a horn. But if you hear Bacchanal down by you with the neighborhood watch.
Yes,
but the only thing they do is hire security, somebody to stand up on the corner.
I hear you. Hold on, Mr. Tagarigo. I just have another caller from...
No, all right,
yes.
So I don't understand where them people frightening. They could only frighten them, and them old people and them who saying, I only going because I ain't want them take. They want to pay it, Lennox. They want to pay because
no, I don't think they want to pay it. No, they don't want to pay it. But they are genuinely afraid of what this government has demonstrated they are capable of doing. That is what that is all about. Nobody wants to take money out of their pocket to pay for something unnecessarily. For what? Why you want, especially at a time like this? So no, but Rowley and they will go into the parliament and talk in a manner as if people are spontaneously and voluntarily and willingly want to do what they have prescribed, even though it is evil and punitive. No, nobody does that. So I share not that view that they are doing so because they want to.
Down here in Aruka, they have an office here. I just see people go and think. Well, every time I pass in my car, I just say, "All that notice to give them."
Yeah, that's what you do. Yeah, you have reverse or counter intimidation, so that they will act and become conscious, and therefore leave that damn place and go back home and let the chips fall where.
Relax yourself.
Yeah.
Relax yourself. You be like go in your place. Go in your place. They could send wherever PNM police they want, because PNM police to go send, no. They ain't go send normal police, no.
Of course.
They will hire a team for that, no.
Yeah, like what they did to Tobago.
Yeah. But they know Trinidadian different than Tobagonian.
Yeah.
I wonder if they went up Lavantia by you and
no,
take picture and measure thing.
That's the point. And I said last time, and I say so is the Indian community is targeted because they know they are more pliable, they are more amenable, they are more responsive, and they are more, of course, they will more adhere to a scenario like that where it is passing the parliament.
Lennox, let me tell you something. Lennox, let me tell you something.
Yeah, go ahead.
You will talk. Because who you're talking to is an Indian. When I pass in Aruka, it's only black people underneath the tent.
Yeah.
I telling you that. So that Indian, no, you know Indian like land and house. You think Indian gain them that? Yes, so.
Well, they are the ones that have the major properties. The Africans that you are seeing there, because they have no, listen, I'm making a point. The Africans you're seeing there are the ones who got an evaluation that will have them pay $100 and so on, you know. But
wait, I hear a woman say, I'm telling you, I hear a woman talking about she no pay $3,000 in property tax. I say, you dash stupid to get more money.
Yeah, but that's a loud piece. That's a loud piece. But I know persons who they get a little thing for $100, a little thing for $150 and so on. So they're going to pay it as Africans. But I know that, let's face it, I mean, the Indians have the larger properties, comparatively speaking. Let's not waste time.
But that don't mean
a higher amount of.
Yeah, but that don't mean because they ain't coming out to protest and whatnot and do things, they're lowering the finger to talk. But what I'm saying, when you're pushing into a point, it go reach a point, or no?
Yeah, but I'm talking about a category. I'm talking about a demography that is, of course, maybe considered to be the matriarch or the patriarch in the family, who would have owned the property and so on, and therefore they will be much more vulnerable to accepting and responding to that in the way that the government would like. Let's not waste time. And is a similar target of that of the $100 bills. It's the same thing. The Africans have no money, but it's the Indians who would, of course, put their monies in their mattresses and buy the time, etc. And those are the ones that they target here.
You're making me feel stupid. I mean, you're trying to tell me that Indian population.
No, I'm saying that they are the ones that will conform because they don't want to lose what the government say, even though it is fake, that they will lose. They prefer to caution on the right side of things. In other words, they don't want to get involved in that.
Well, boy, I don't mean what to tell you, but what I'm saying, before that, Mr. Tabaki, get my house, I tell you, 3 billion missing, and I want my money because
they
I
want your money. That's right. We want your money. We want to know where it's gone, and we want your money. Yeah. That's what we want. All right, thank you very much, sir. All right, bye-bye. Yes, Mr. Tagari, go ahead.
Yeah, boy, you hear me good?
Loud and clear, my friend.
And we want your money right now, too.
Yeah, you want your money right blasted now, yes.
LENNOX.
Yes.
I hear a man talk on TV tonight. About Trump and the victory over there. The man only talk race, boy, LENNOX. Race, pure race. I didn't want to remember his name. And saying how it's white people and Latinos vote for Trump. Is he mad or he wasn't following what's going on?
Well, it's obvious. It's the typical PNM eclectic, or should I say, selective argument scenario. They take the very lean, the very least, and make it look as though it's the norm. He don't know that Trump get the popular votes. He don't know that more Africans voted for him than the last occasion, more Latinos more than the last occasion, and of course we could go further. But those are the areas for those who don't want to accept that they get the ass cut.
The ass cut.
Yes, that's right. The ass cut. They don't want to accept that, so they make it all kinds of excuses, nebulous, infantile, and goatish as they are.
And he's some kind of big professor.
Let me just hold on a little bit, Ms. Santa Cruz. Just finishing with Mr. Tagrigo.
No problem.
Okay.
No problem.
Go ahead, Mr. Tagrigo. Yes.
Yeah, and he's some professor from UV or something, you know.
Yeah. You have all these fellas. They're all over the place. Remember, I was extremely concerned about the intellectuals that either are within or surround or sympathetic to the PNM. I think that they have, of course, betrayed their knowledge, their expertise, and making and laying to waste, of course, their intellectual achievement, because they could influence no one to gravitate to the PNM and to say that somehow they are worthy of getting our votes, far less to be back in office in 2025.
The man talks so much crap, you know.
Yeah.
I feel shame for him.
Of course, you must feel shame. You wonder how big men like them, big men like them, who would have, of course, run the roost in terms of the upper echelons of the society, respected, etc., swaying public opinion at one time. People like Helen Drayton and Father Coffee, sorry, not Father Coffee, Father Harvey. Yes, Harvey. And then you have some Calypsonians, and you have people like, of course, Roger and others. You want to know how they could get hoodwinked by a clear evidence-based and evidence confirmable, let me put it that way, and conduct obvious of persons who clearly were never ready to manage the affairs of the country, totally corrupt.
I can't believe that I hear that man talking that.
Yeah, you have that. And as I said yesterday, the devil has its imps. I can't call them disciples or angels. I don't call them imps. And we saw it, of course, in and we saw it, of course, in the American elections as well, because the Democrats got some votes, yes, but just as how PNM will get some votes, but at the end of the day, good will prevail all the time over good. Good will prevail all the time over bad or evil, yes.
Yeah, LENNOX, when Obama was president.
Yeah, exactly.
He sent back 3 million of them one time, you know.
Yes, all of that. So let's not waste time.
Why that fella know that?
Do that, yes.
No, they are not prepared. They're not prepared to know that because they are myopic and they have on blinders.
Hamid Ghani talk good.
Yes. All right.
You know,
yeah. These fellas are intellectual, legitimate intellectuals. They are vintage material, but the others are fake and charlatans. Yes.
Trump now organizing things with the cabinet.
Yes.
When he ready, he make him move. Then they're gonna work with on.
That's right. All right.
25 million people come in, they can't keep all of them there.
That's right.
We're after Americans, they ain't gonna get no work.
That's right. I remember even the ambassador here under Trump was a Trinidadian that that was naturalized, of course, and he came into politics. He was in the army and so on, and he made him, of course, African guy from Laventil thereabouts.
I remember
and he made him an ambassador to Trinidad.
But you come in and
you're going to have all of that, just as in Trinidad. But let me get on to Ms. Santa Cruz. Yeah, okay then.
Well, I'll see you tomorrow, we go talk.
Yes, we'll talk, yes. Bye-bye, yes. Sorry about that, Miss Santa Cruz. A pleasant good night to you.
That's all right.
Yes.
That's all right, Lennox. Good night to you
Yes.
and to everybody out there. But you know, Lennox, we don't hear Tatariko clearly.
Oh, we don't hear him clearly. You know,
We do hear him clearly.
I have a difficulty as well. So if that is the case, we may have to address that. I have to see him tomorrow, so I will talk to him on that.
Yeah,
Maybe.
you do hear, it barely, okay, for example, he will say 10 words, we might only understand about 3.
Yeah, I think
It's that bad.
I think the nature of his voice is probably what is the issue. So
I don't know, but we don't understand. Yeah. We don't. But Lennox, I am listening here tonight. And I want, with all due respect, Lennox, I want to tell the caller before Taco Rico, I am very, very disappointed in your the way you describe elderly people not wanting to lose their home. You understand?
Yeah.
You must remember it's elderly people you are referring to in that manner. Elderly people who can't fight again.
Yeah. I think he was convinced at the end of the discussion because he said something to the effect.
And it's
all right,
mockery.
so therefore,
Lennox,
of course, he has surrendered.
Yeah, his mockery. I don't want to lose my house. I mean, you know how hard these people, and at that age, to reach that age, they are pensioners.
Yeah, that's why I talk about the matriarch and the patriarch and so on, and therefore they understand the struggle. And in their twilight, they don't want, of course, to be on the streets.
We don't want to go on the road, Lennox.
Which PNM will rub in to give the impression because they're law-abiding.
PNM, they will close their eyes and throw you in the road.
Yeah, of course.
We know that. We know that, Lennox.
Yeah, so
Lennox, let me tell you something. It's not the matter we wanted to give PNM that money, right? Lennox, what people keep forgetting is that we were threatened with jail and $5,000.
Yeah.
Where we were getting that from, Lennox?
Yeah.
You remember at the beginning, it was threats.
Yeah.
And when we saw people out there, outside town hall, it was a mixture of people going to drop their forms.
Yeah.
From all race, Lennox.
Yeah.
It wasn't one race you were seeing there.
But the demography is more people over 50, 60 kind of thing. And if a person and if a person is there under that age, it means they're going and pay it for someone, eh? Let's not waste time. I mean, without saying, they're going to pay it for someone. Because you don't expect a 20-year-old or 25-year-old in this present state of affairs to be owning, unless they have inherited it. But even in those circumstances, you don't expect that. But they will be far and few, and in between that demography that clearly is above 50 and beyond. Yeah.
Lennox, and the thing about it is, the day that I went down there to pay, I reached there very early in the morning. I reached about 6:15.
Right.
And I sat down there waiting, and people were coming. Lennox, it was all elderly people.
That's what I'm saying, you see? So
and you
ratified my point. You know, there are some people who would nestle their argument based on their own personal experience. They are like that, and therefore, of course, they believe that the rest of the population of the particular grouping that they're referring to should be that way or is that way. No. Our job is, of course, to disabuse that and to make them understand that they are not an island unto themselves.
And Lennox, let me tell you, and everybody that was there that morning, right? We were talking, you know, we were in our little groups waiting for the place to open.
Right.
And we were talking. Everybody sounding the same thing. We were not happy paying it, Lennox.
It's only Rowley and they will go to the parliament. Go to the parliament and say, look, people are rushing to pay do their duty and so on and so forth. And you're really getting angry. A person like me getting angry. And I would like to say, if there was a Prince Street, I don't want clout for that nonsense they're talking about. Go ahead.
And Lennox, everybody with the same talk. We are pensioners. And we have to take some people, their own pension, Lennox, they have to take it and pay it.
Yeah.
You understand? they had to take it and pay. Everybody was with the same thing.
Yeah.
Why no? Why? And when I asking people, so we're talking. Why did? Well, we were threatened.
Yeah.
Everybody was with the same. And then let me tell you something. They both said that they didn't want to pay it. They didn't want to pay it, right? Now, we would love if Mrs. Prasad Bisesa win the election because we know she's going to scrap it.
Yeah,
right?
scrap that to rescind it. Yes.
Right. Lennox, that's a chance we can't take. And the next chance
that
we could not
is
take.
a chance. So you don't want to, out of an abundance of caution, you will make sure that you are in line.
Right.
Because you know the nature of the beast. Yeah.
Right. The next chance that we could not take was we had until, what was it, 6th or something, so September?
Yes, that's right. At one point, yes.
Right. And after that, Lennox, it was 10% interest.
Yeah.
Are they prepared to pay the 10%? Some people, the 10% was $500, Lennox.
Yeah, yeah. No. I take your argument. You are talking to the convinced and the accepted. I'm in my mind. I know
and
the
it's
evil
after
that the PNM is. Yes.
It was a lot of things were against the people. Right? A lot of things were against the people. And it's when Mrs. Prasad Bisesa them keep asking them, well, put it off. That is how they extended it to the end of October. And then now they extend it again to December because of the online. What they're trying now was to open online. Lennox, we were in danger out there, because at first we were hearing they were not accepting links.
Yeah.
And it's cash. Right? We were in danger out there.
Yeah.
Right? But you see, it's very easy for people to talk. But put yourself in a pensioner's position, and a pensioner is not a 50-year-old.
And you would know, you'll understand, you will empathize with it, even though you may not
instead
be
of condemning and criticizing, instead of condemning and criticizing them, put yourself in the pensioner's position, because a pensioner is not a 50-year-old. A pensioner is over 65 years.
That's
right? Put yourself in that position that if they come now to take your house or whatever, right? And put you in the road, because they wouldn't think twice. The way they're so wicked, they would not think twice.
That's the fear that was instilled. That is the fear that this government, it has weaponized government against the people. Yeah, and therefore that belligerence that is typical of the utterances of this government to beat people into submission. Awkward as it is and brutal as it is, but it is a reality. A government really that doesn't care about the people, especially the
they don't care about the people, Lennox. They don't care about them, right? And the next one, Rowley have no shame to say costing less than a diamond. Less than a diamond, Lennox.
But if it was costing less than a diamond, why didn't you revert back to the land and building taxes? You had that option.
And not that too. Why did you start with the commercial property? Why did you start with people's houses that they work so hard for, Lennox? Why did they do that?
Yeah,
you
it's part of their play.
It's really hard.
Protect the 1% who control 80% of the private wealth in the country, and of course, mercilessly intrude and of course render further poverty and degradation of their circumstance, the already poor.
Exactly. You understand? And then also, let me tell you something. One person I will never forgive is Karen Eunice Teixeira, because she got on CNC3 when she was Minister of Finance, and she said to the pensioners and them, take out $100 every month from your pension, put it aside to pay your property tax. And you want to come now and form party and asking people to follow you? No, Lennox. Not at all.
Well,
Lennox, thanks a lot.
Yes, even worse than that. Don't go yet. Even worse than that.
Yeah.
You should doubly or triply or quadruply hate Rowley, because he said that not one of his constituents could afford $100 back in 2009
Lennox,
when it was introduced by the Manning administration. Go ahead.
The hatred is 10 times more.
Good, right. Now you could go.
Yeah.
Now you could go.
Yeah, right. But let me tell you, before I go, I want to tell you, in 2014, he stood up in Harris Promenade and said, come land there, Mrs. The Prime Minister owed the PNM an apology because they never talk anything about Property Tax. And she's saying that they're going to bring back the Property Tax. What the hell did they do, Lennox?
Yes, including, of course, this inheritance tax, which is built into that in a technical way, because you have no reprieve, even if you would have died and you got some kind of postponement. But ultimately, your heirs, anybody who inherits that property, will have to pay, and therefore that is inheritance tax. They can't fool us again.
And Lennox, and they said that she lied, eh? They said that she lied about
as usual, that is
the inheritance tax.
Yeah, they deny until they are confronted, and then, of course, they get on as if they never denied it, but going forward with some other new
look at how now it proves that there is inheritance tax,
of course,
built into that property tax. Thanks
right.
A lot, Lennox, and have a good night.
Yes, same to you. But I want to conclude, people, by simply saying, let's go straight to the line. We have a caller on the line. Let's go to the line, and then, of course, I'll tell you where you should look to confirm what we just said, as introduced by Ms. Santa Cruz. A pleasant good night. Welcome, Ms. Arena.
Yes, Mr. Lennox, good night.
Good night to you.
I'm not paying any property tax. I ain't paying any. I ain't even get the letter.
Right.
Yeah, I ain't even get the letter.
But they say if you ain't get the letter,
I ain't paying none.
Well, you are safe. Because I mean, they say.
But you ain't catch where I coming from, or what?
Yes.
You ain't catching me.
Go ahead.
Catch me.
All right.
So let's move on. Well, let me say a little something about that. You see, when you know how the mafias operate, you don't know what coming. Them only want to trick people to see how much in the population will pay, make a scrape.
Yeah.
And
definitely.
then,
The test is a test, yes.
They shut it down. Yeah, they test it, and they will catch who are so, thing.
Not so accurate,
right. They have a lot of timid people, and you can't do nothing for that. Leave them and let them do they do. Yeah, that's their way. You understand? You could only lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink.
Definitely.
That whole thing, it done flip-flopping already, because the people talking about it, and it flip-flopping. And I saw the mafia will come with more thing and more thing again.
Of course.
But what I want to say is, you keep having hope too. You too, you're the next one. You having hope that the UNC could win the elections without observers if they ain't come. Well, I tell you, that is what we have to fight for. We have to fight like a devil to get them observers inside of here. And I find it's 2 months now and not a word, because there's 16 organizations, she right, must be Cessa, right? And up to now, they can't tell us something. I mean the people, but the UNC organization, know the people excited about this. They can't be silent.
Yeah.
We want to hear something. I find it's fair to give people hope. The people, because people getting anxious now. You understand?
Yeah.
So they're supposed to come forward and let us know where they get through with 5, 8, different organizations.
Information.
Right.
Yeah, information.
So I find people shouldn't be just talking and asking you questions they in doubt, because I heard a Mr. on the ground report asking you, and you told him that, you're sure they will come. So, come true.
Percentage too. I thought you didn't hear that one. 200%.
Yeah, so that is past the percentage mark. So sure you tell him. But yet still he asking Andy, and Andy,
Andy was skeptical. So when you started, I say,
Andy is skeptical. Andy he had, as I say, that people have their own belief and that way, and that is it. Andy now saying, right, that, none will come and all of that.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, that's a skeptic in by definition.
None will come, he's saying, because Rowley not going to bring them here.
And I have a different view, and I told him that this is...
Prasad Bisesa, in all them 16 organizations she wrote there, the most powerful one, right, that will insist, he can't tell them no, he can't tell them no, is the OAS. Nobody can tell me about OAS and yap. All you don't know nothing. They will pull him. When I say pull him, they will talk to him, and he will have to do it. Because we are in a charter. Eric Williams signed us on to that after we got independence. I can't remember the year right now, but it was a couple years after the independence. And he made the people know that this is a democratic country, and we for democracy. He explained democracy to the people. I'm speaking about Eric Williams. He made them know that democracy is freedom, and all you sign on to something and all you break the democracy, all how, right? And if she only write to them personally, direct and state certain things that going on here, is problem for him. So nobody can tell me that they ain't going to make him bring observers. He wouldn't have any say. They will have dialogue with him, and he will have to bring them. He can't challenge them. He can't answer to them. Right? So, this is what she have to do. A political scientist, when she wrote to these organizations, she within her right. People are saying she can't do it. She within her right. She have full power. Right? He don't want to do it. She could do it. And he did it. He had full power too. But it's what he say. Right? I said a stupidness, and she have full power and good grounds. So she have to use her diplomacy, and the people can't be talking and fighting little protests here and there for all kind of thing, and she helping the people with some diplomacy. She's supposed to help the people now. We take tear gas for COVID, okay, that's really in the politics thing. But we going through all kind of thing, police people jumping over the shoulder, all kind of thing. But me afraid that I know you're getting things to eat in the lockup. And you must get bail. It have bail for murder and all, and that, a little protest. And sometimes policeman ain't good to the he they never show magistrate throughout the matter, all kind of thing. People don't have to be scared. And when they have protests, who they locking up? The activists and them who lead the march and all of that. People don't have to study. Nobody can shoot. No tear gas up here just so. They see how we learn about these things. Each and every one of us educate each other. I more so talking about our rights. You feel they ain't listening? They think they could try that again? They tried in COVID because it had law. They make this law where you can't gather. But other protests, them can't shoot down nobody with tear gas because we go out there with 10,000 or let's say 400. No, they can't do that. They're wrong. They know. Again, we will need diplomacy from the organization, the UNC organization, to report them for attacking protesters.
Yeah, well, I can assure you that has been done. That and responses are on their way. Let me put it that way. You will hear a little more about it. A lot has been done since that tear gassing, and that, of course, the only excuse, the only impediment is because it was in the setting of COVID. And therefore, the government will respond by saying, well, listen, it's COVID and they're protecting the health of the population.
Yeah, as I say.
So they
that
have
was
their
the only
argument,
thing.
But that doesn't mean that we must
away
use
with
that
But I am speaking for the future again. If 10,000 people gather, or they want to be wicked too, with a little 400, because they can't take the protest, because they in a mafia and things showing up, right? They cannot do it again.
Yeah, I agree.
As
and
the
he
woman
had no choice.
say,
He must have observers here. All right. Okay then.
We have to.
Yes.
Good night.
Yeah. Bye bye. Yes, indeed. Well, of course, my information is that, of course, the Trinidad and Tobago joined the US in 1967. So 5 years after we became, of course, independent. But just to verify, let me just consult my telephone, my smartphone, and ask the question. When did Trinidad and Tobago join the OAS?
To control lights using Google Assistant, you'll need to get them set up in a...
When did Trinidad and Tobago join the OAS?
According to Office of the Historian, Establishment of Diplomatic Relations, 1962. The United States established diplomatic relations with Trinidad and Tobago on August 31st, 1962.
No, I ain't want that. Ask a specific question. Let me just make sure, let me clear this thing. All right, answer that question. When did Trinidad and Tobago join the Organization of American States?
Here's what I found.
All right. I want you to tell me. Tell me when did Trinidad and Tobago join the Organization of American States?
These came back from a search.
It will be seen, but of course, it has 1967. I thought it would have speak it so that you will be appreciative of the answer that I gave earlier and confirming thereof. Pleasant good night. Welcome to the corridor.
Lennox, you hearing me good or not?
Eh?
You hearing me good when I talk, or you hearing me?
Very good. Now I hear you much clearer now. But before, was a bit muffled because I say it because may have a voice issue, and I didn't want to focus on it. But I'm glad that Miss Santa Cruz raised it, so you will know what to do. But go ahead. I hear you. I heard what you just said very clearly.
Right. John Estrada from Laventille was Obama ambassador down here.
Yes, Estrada. Yes, that was the. Yeah.
Estrada was Imanim.
All right.
Mandela was Trump.
Oh yes, Mandela. Yeah. It wasn't. Yeah, it was not Trinidadian. Yeah. Sorry, he was. Thank you for that correction. Yeah. Okay.
So I call it to correct you on that.
Yeah. Thanks very much. You're quite right. Estrada was the man for Obama.
Yes. And he come here.
That Trinidadian that was born here, but of course did all his life work in the United States and became an ambassador for Trinidad. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for that correction.
ETNM.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
I know I will have property tax and all that coming.
Excuse me. Yeah.
All right, I'll go on with that.
All right, thank you very much. Of course, people, you have to forgive me. Like I getting a sneezing spell, so I'll get a sneezing spell. So just let me do something behind the scenes, and then I will return. A pleasant good night. A pleasant good night. Welcome back. Let's sneezing spells. So I had to, of course, go behind the scenes. I didn't want people to see me sneezing on the camera.
And next thing you know, we get the call. We get the call.
I understand something is going wrong as well, but I didn't want to see people see me in a sneezing spell because sometimes it takes 2, 3 Ashu. But okay, so I'm back.
Yeah.
I'm back. Go ahead. Yes.
Lennox,
I'm
one
only
of the
human.
things.
Yeah.
Yes, you are human. Lennox, one of the things that I forgot to mention
Go ahead.
is that after it was passed in Parliament, dropping it to 2%,
Yes.
it became low. It became low.
Right,
Whether
yes.
we want to admit it or not, it became
Yeah,
low.
it is a law.
through
That's
an
why the
act of
people
Parliament.
became,
Right.
frightened, intimidated.
Right.
They
And
were traumatized.
Lennox, I went to my lawyer, right? I didn't just go so and pay. I went to my lawyer, right? And she advised me, Anna, it is now law, and before you are labeled a lawbreaker, I would suggest that you pay it.
Right. Yeah, but a lawyer will do that. It's up to you to take the
advice.
Right.
Right. Because as she said, they know that you are an activist. They know that you are a UNC activist, and they can target you.
Yeah, you will be targeted.
Why would I want a big right?
Yeah.
Why would I want a big target on my back, Lennox? I am no little potong out there, you know, Lennox.
That's right, of course.
Everybody know Miss Santa Cruz.
Yes.
Right? And I want to make it very clear. It was based on the advice of my lawyer. That is why I went and I paid it.
No, I don't feel you should feel in any way, should I say, offended one, and that you are obligated to anybody's comment on what you have done in your own best interest. I mean, everybody does that. So don't be
allow for me to say that.
Yes.
In my own best interest.
That's right.
Because you remember, Lennox, it's not I alone involved in this.
That's right.
I
exactly.
have my
the
children.
whole family, I would assume. Yeah?
I have my children.
Yeah.
And you remember they're saying, now what the lawyer told me, she said, don't use that you're a pensioner as an excuse, because if anything happens to you, your children will have to pay it
retroactively. That's right. That's the trick. And of course, Imbert say that when your children become a lawyer, so a fella typically in Laventil, all those persons who may not have paid but got a deferral, he expects that all of them will become lawyers. That
right.
Yes.
Yeah. It's sort of this thing. So that is why to Lennox, that was one of the decision that it was based on. Why would I put my children in that type of debt?
Yeah, obviously,
right?
But
you
don't want that
you
for them.
have to make that sacrifice. You see, because Lennox, people is just talk.
Yeah.
Right? That is just talk, but they don't know. As I said, I didn't just go so paid. I was advised by my lawyer to go unpaid, and that's what I did.
Yeah,
so
any rational thinking person
Lennox, and
understanding will understand your plight and your dilemma. So there's no need to
because I
to
didn't want to leave that debt for my children.
Yeah, feeling offensive or believing that you should ingratiate them because you did something that others may not do, as the case may be. No. I think you acted in your best interest. And your family's
But I'll tell you something.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you something. I have another house, and I don't think I'll be paying it on that one.
Okay, good.
You understand? I don't think I'll be paying it on that one.
Okay.
You understand? Because it was a great burden, Lennox. This one was a big burden.
Right.
Right? I pay close to $3,000. Right. I know there are a lot of people paying more.
Yes.
Right? And this was a big burden. I would have to think seriously about paying for the other one. Right? I'm still waiting on advice on that one. Okay. Right? So Lennox, that's why I had to clear up that thing. Thanks a lot again.
Yes,
all right, later.
But what the caller has done, of course, our external correspondent, Ms. Santa Cruz, is also vividly show the kind of trauma and the kind of mental quagmire that this government has placed the average citizen in with respect to this property tax, against a background, don't forget, against a background that they said they will never engage. And as I told you, back in 2015, when they presented their manifesto at the Hyatt, Rowley and Imbert were juggling to respond to that because Imbert saying on the one hand that it was not in the manifesto. Rowley say, I'm glad you mentioned that, and let me answer it. And there are persons in the Kamala Prasad Bissessa government at the time who were saying that the PNM, when they get into government, if they get into government, will bring back that tax. And he said categorically no, and they are dishonest. That dishonest son of a gun. A pleasant good night. Welcome to the corridor.
A pleasant good night to you, Mr. Lennox, and the over the 360 something so far on the live watching.
Yes, indeed.
And let's share. Mr. Lennox, God bless you 3 times for that sneeze. But here what's going on. You're just getting rid of the PNM smell of the Balize in you.
Yeah, it's a catharsis, you know, it's a getting rid of, purging them.
So, because the antibodies in our DNA, there's reject stinkness and germs.
Yeah.
So,
that germ infested party called the PNM.
That's right.
Yeah, okay.
Everything of germs, biological warfare. You understand?
Yes.
So,
I hear you.
So Mr. Lennox, I know come on put on TV and I see you sneezing. But I would like to change your direction, but you know, it might be something about finance.
Yeah, go ahead.
After 9 years,
take us wherever you wish. That is your prerogative.
Okay.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Because I had to be like a little puppy dog tonight and put my tail between my leg and beg you. But when I catch you,
after all that licking you give me in the last 2 weeks, trying to superimpose me or trying to transpose me to be a Rowley. But go ahead, I understand. My shoulders are broad, and yours too.
Yes, so you take a purge and you get to them out. So I humbly apologize, but I will go easy on you.
I hear you, my
now,
friend.
Mr. Khan in NGC, right?
Yes.
I will go with his first and second and the third name. I think he's the successor of Mark Lukwan, right?
Who's that guy again?
NGC.
Who's the guy? Who's the guy?
Something Khan.
Okay, go
right?
ahead. Right. Okay, right.
I think he's the chairman or something on the board at NGC down there. Right?
Yeah, right, okay.
So everybody know that NGC had a sister company called NGL, which is Phoenix Gas, right? And our political leader, Ms. Kamala Prasad Bissessa, had bought back that company from foreigners who had the shares in it and make it a fully state-owned enterprise with NGC.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
And upon doing that, they had put out an IPO for the public, the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, to buy in the NGL, they call it the NGL stock. Right? Now, after 9 years, are the shareholders who had that stock. Just imagine under Mark Lukwan and Stuart Young as energy minister, taking money, but that is the one where they sell the LNG, right?
Yes.
And we just get more money from that company than NGC.
Okay.
That is the money maker. You know, after 9 years, right? But before, they had already sent out a memorandum and asking that since it's a U.S. trading company, that dividends will be paid in U.S. And when they sent out that paper and the shareholders had agreed, since then to now, I can recall seeing or hearing a shareholder get dividend from that company. But tonight, you're here now, the company makes some money, right?
Yeah.
And they're going over to see if they will pay it in the US or TT rather pay any dividend.
Yeah.
So there's a next one for the archive of thieving and mismanagement.
But let me ask you something. Oh, sorry, go ahead. I told you finish. Go ahead.
Yeah. I listen to you. Yeah, right.
Yeah. Very often, in recent times at least, the minister, on the one hand, talks about, of course, Forex accumulation in Trinidad and Tobago, or acquisition, is as a consequence of the taxes paid by these oil, gas, and petrochemical companies. As on the one hand. But in recent times, he's also telling us that their taxes are paid in Trinidad and Tobago dollars. Which one to believe? How you would reconcile that? Because he has not given us any explanation to say, well, listen, a certain portion of the money or a certain category of foreign exchange earners in the energy sector would pay their monies in TT dollars. What you make of it, and if there should be any credence at all, because I would expect if a company is earning foreign exchange, having regard to, of course, the need over the years, I'm talking since Trinidad and Tobago became an independent country, and of course managing our affairs, etc., etc., you would be paid, of course, in foreign dollars in order to build up a stockpile of that at the central bank. But I just want to hear your views on it, because you seem to be someone who follow these matters. It may be something out of your grain or not, but I just want to hear your views.
Now, I will put it on a local company, right? For example, Petrotrin was formed as a state-owned enterprise by an expatriate and a company from outside. We sell the crude oil, we sell the products and everything to the outside market. We deliver the crude oil. We stay on the crude oil, so we will tie up.
That's part of the energy industry here. Go ahead, yes.
Right?
Right.
When Petrotrin sell crude oil outside of Trinidad, the crude oil is being paid in US.
Right? Yes, obviously, yes.
Now, the US will go to the central bank, right? Through the Ministry of Finance. They'll get a check and payment.
Let's see that, yes, okay.
So it comes like, okay, I sell cocoa to Barbados. They pay me my money, right?
Yeah,
I don't go and collect the check.
Yes.
I will go to the bank of which we will deal with and get that payment in US, right? And then I deposit it into my account.
Right, okay.
So the central bank is the collectors of revenue, like that, right?
Right, yeah.
So now Petrotrin don't sell that kind of quantum of oil to get our GDP. It's company like BP, Goodwood, New Wood, Old Wood, and those companies, right? They sell, especially BP, right? They make the kind of oil they make on the East Coast out there. They sell the oil to onto themselves back outside. Let me put it that way.
Right? There's a term that they use to try to pay less taxes. I put it that way. But go ahead. Yeah.
Right. So they pay to a subsidiary of their own.
Yeah.
Which is the refining section. That's like how Trinidad have it.
Yeah.
Right. So when they sell that crude oil, that money stay outside. Right. No. BP is an oil and gas producer. BP had signed a contract with Patrick Manning to supply gas to Power Gen. And when we buy the gas from BP, the minister is supposed to say if we pay in TT or we pay in US.
All right.
But what we do, we just pay it in US. Right? We pay BP in US. Right? And for we share gas to run the plant. No, BP, with all the misdemeanors and what is sell to the downstreamers and them, being a company that collect TT dollars, a part of payment at TT for the gas, right?
Yeah, because the downstreamers obviously will pay in TT. Go ahead.
Right? And they'll pay it. Now you want to tell them is either it would make no difference because you make yourself a jack, whatever the great thing that's been Moruga yard, right? Because if you get 100 US from BP, US, and it's $600 TT, right? You still have to pay BP now for the gas you get for the power gen. It make any sense?
Yeah, I hear you, but it doesn't resolve the issue of taxes. Public tax, not public tax. I mean, corporation tax is about what 30% thereabout. So that 30% corporation tax that they have to pay, which is separate and apart from the normal transactions that they will make in terms of their business operation. He is saying that company that is making or that is exporting and earning foreign exchange, on the one hand, pays, of course, that 30% in TT dollars, and at the same time, he makes a similar statement saying that they pay taxes in US dollars. I just can't comprehend it.
That was draw the reference because if it's the corporation tax, right? Anyhow we take it, if they bring it in where BP going to get TT dollars to pay, it had to deposit still and change into TT.
Right, and convert to deal with their domestic operations, suppliers, people service their various pay workers,
service companies and
etc. Yes.
Providers.
All right.
Right?
Yeah.
So anyhow we take it, the US will still be in Trinidad.
Right.
That's what I tried to tell you. So anyhow he put it, the corporation tax, right? It will still be coming into US.
Yes, because so in other words, that it needs further examination 1 and 2. It may well be that he lied to us.
Yes, that's the hoodwink can say.
Yeah.
Okay, Touchstone. The now they're taking the gas on Touchstone.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Touchstone in Trinidad. When they sell the gas to NGC, right?
Yeah.
NGC will pay in TT to Touchstone. What Touchstone get? We're talking about the local market.
Yeah. I hear you.
And
I got you. Yeah.
So anyhow we get the US from the foreign company. Right?
But he's saying of course that what he's insisting is that all of them must pay in US now. But he was saying that, but he never gave us what quantity and which organizations that would pay in not property but corporation tax in
US.
in TT and all of that. So it's confusion. But I suppose you can leave it up to them to generate a confused scenario so as to confuse the people. So on the one hand is a good argument, on the other hand is a bad argument, and of course good cop and bad cop resides in one person, the Minister of Finance. We see that, of course, with the situation as far as the Auditor General is concerned. All right, thanks very much. Yes.
No, before you go down, let me ask you this one now.
Yeah,
right?
go ahead.
We have local assemblers who manufacture goods and services and export.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And I call it on them because there's plenty.
Yeah.
Who export, right?
Yeah, I think we have some
and the other day,
90-something companies of that nature. Go ahead.
Export. Where the US, when they get paid, where it goes, in which part it deposit.
Well, my understanding is that they deposit in their US account in ostensibly local banks, or it may be in foreign banks as well. And then they still go and seek the facility that the government provides. And that is, of course, Exim Bank, to get, of course, the benefit of foreign exchange without having to use up that which they would have earned from the exports that they would have, of course, earned foreign exchange from.
Right.
It's a smart man thing.
Because if I buy in tomatoes from America and Canada, right, and I sell in tomatoes ketchup back to Canada, and I will leave a certain amount of money in Canada to buy the tomatoes,
Yeah, or you have a banking arrangement, because these days you could easily do electronic transfer and so on. So you could remit it back to your bank. You could take the money that the importer gave you, deposit it in your bank. That is very easy to do. But of course, you'll have a U.S. account. And my thing is that I believe that many of them are preserving their own U.S. account, and in whatever form and wherever, and then of course utilizing the foreign exchange that is provided by Exim Bank by the government in order to, of course, continue their business. That's how I see it. So therefore, you have a shortage as a consequence, because you have to give the facilitator, Exim Bank, more foreign exchange that you would normally have to do if these people were utilizing their foreign exchange to continue their business. That's how I see it.
And to show you now why it is have a shortage, you see the importation, when they pay in US for gas in that quantum amount and other services, and less revenue coming in US, right?
Yeah.
So
the only time that can happen is when, of course, there is a slump in the price of the commodities, so whether it be gas, oil, and other petrochemical items, whether it be whether it be fertilizer or LNG, as the case may be.
Right. So that will apply to the ammonia, the ethanol.
That's right.
Plants and them.
Yeah, that's right. Yes.
Who have no TT yet still bring TT to pay for shutdown and services.
I cannot understand why these companies, according to him, because he has not defined, as I said, why it is that he's saying that they are paying in local currency. I have a difficulty with that kind of statement without any kind of proof or confirmation or evidence to the contrary, or to support what he is saying. All right, thank you.
So
yes.
Before you go right?
Ahead.
This one for food for thought. Why you don't tell the businessmen pay the VAT in US? Good night.
I hear you, my friend. Or pay them their VAT. The government pay their VAT to these companies in US, I suppose. But of course, that is a matter for another time. I'm trying to get to this video tonight. I'm determined to get this video tonight. A pleasant good night. Welcome. Confirmation.
Hello, Mr. Lennox Smith.
Mr. San Fernando, just hold on. Let me just.
No, leave him, please. Leave him, please. We could have a three-way. I want to ask him something.
Ooh, Mr. San Fernando?
Mr. Faisabad.
Oh, no, he left already.
Mr. Faisabad.
No, he left already.
He left.
He wasn't
the thing slow. I wanted to ask Mr. Faisabad, right? Mm-hmm. Where Trinidad and Tobago does get the gas refined? Which country? Because he seemed to know a lot about the gas industry.
All right, okay.
Also, last night I listened to him and he said that they deposit the foreign exchange in the Exim Merchant Bank. I find something wrong there.
No, a certain portion is given to the Exim Bank for to promote the non-oil, particularly the non-oil sector manufacturers. That is really what that is for, that facility. So what they do, they pay up front. The Exim Bank pay the manufacturer up front in Trinidad, US, but at a discount price, so they make a little change for themselves. And then they wait on the importer from abroad to remit the original sum, and that's how they operate and assist the local manufacturers in getting timely payment. That's how it operates.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay then.
All right.
But I would like to know from Mr. Faisabad, if you could let him come back on and talk a little brief, please. If he could tell us which country does refine our gas for us.
Okay.
Yes, please.
Our oil.
Thanks.
Our oil.
Yeah, our oil. Sorry, yes.
No problem. All right, okay then. All right, let's go to Mr. San Fernando. A pleasant good night. Welcome to the corridor.
Yeah, I was listening. I was hoping that I would get on earlier, or what. I don't know if I get on tonight to tell you that as I was listening, I think it's Mr. Rima who brought up the topic with the Organization of American States.
Yes.
And when the Trinidad and Tobago joined.
Yes.
And when I first heard that saying it, saying in mine in 1967.
Yeah, 1967. I said it afterwards, even though my phone couldn't pinpoint that particular date.
And what I want to say is that she's quite correct, you know. She because inside of that, there is a lot to do with the rights of citizens once you join.
Yeah.
So an election here is a very important issue for the Organization of American States. So once we signed that, once Eric Williams had signed that charter, right, that would have been good for Trinidad and Tobago, and we really and truly, Prasad Visasa should really be using that.
Yeah.
So go forward to take, take us forward.
Through Wayne Mark, let me tell you, Wayne Mark, Miss Arima is what I consider to be a stickler for specificity, and she likes to have things done the way how she thinks it should be done. So you can't bet with her for that. But Wayne Mark has said in all certain terms, and I think she made reference to Kamala Prasad Bisasa in terms of several organizations that would have been written, rewritten to, and of course one of which obviously would have been the obvious choice. One of the obvious choices would have been the OS because of its regional influence and its purpose, because it's really and truly it was designed fundamentally to avoid destabilization of the Western Hemisphere, and Venezuela is a case in point, because destabilization can take different forms. In this particular case, because of what Maduro is doing to his own people, there are 27 million people that makes up that population. Close to 7 to 8 million have, of course, migrated out of there and into neighboring countries that are creating, of course, all kinds of social, economic, cultural, and psychological and governance issues for these countries, and therefore that is where the OS has come in, and they have been very forceful. They have been very vociferous, and they have been taking matters even to the United Nations based on the Venezuelan question, because we and all are in a sense being destabilized as a consequence of what happened in Venezuela or is happening in Venezuela. But go ahead, my friend.
Yeah. Well, that's all I wanted to say tonight.
All right, okay then. All right, no problem.
Yeah, okay. All right. Okay.
Thank you very much for that intervention. Let's go straight, of course, to that video. Yes, indeed, of course, about the Forex, as I said. And
the status quo works for the PNM and their friends, family, and financiers at the expense of you, ordinary citizens and genuine businesses in this country.
April, I believe, from the RBL, it's...
Some of us are dismissed as mere peasants.
In US dollars?
I just want to get, of course, the contribution of Wade Mark. So let me just make sure that I'm on button here. All right, good.
Million US dollars.
Let me just go a little back.
Remove this corrupt PNM administration.
Dave has asked a very important question. Where the money gone?
Yes, indeed.
I want you to pay attention to that figure of 175 million US dollars.
This, of course, people is what about
that amount.
He's talking about.
Tally the number of note holders that are owed monies in US dollars by Naikwan. In the Business Express, dated, I think it's the 17th.
Yes, of course. We have to pause. And of course, I know some people may be frustrated, but that is how the cookie crumbles. We have to take the calls because that is priority. Professor, good night. Welcome.
Good night, Lennox. I ain't coming to give no political speech.
All right,
Lennox,
okay. Yeah.
I want to know what's going on in the port, right? If we have a Minister of Labor. Because it seems to be things happening on the port there, and the strike and all this other thing, and people can't get their goods. for Christmas, and hence the reason why some of these stuff like that kind of purchase, the price will be higher. And this man sit down there twiddling his thumbs, and people are asking for the government to get involved, but like they always do for the lioness, they ain't involved in nothing, right? And he just quiet. So I himself know the man, McClatchy or some kind of thing.
McClatchy, yes, he's the parliamentary representative for Labrie.
He's a waste of time.
Yeah.
Just like Jennifer, what she was.
Yeah. Nobody hears about him. Nobody hears about him for the last 9 years. So that is why there's a school of thought or an agenda afoot within the PNM to, of course, hoist him from that position. I understand that he's having a challenge to, of course, regain the nod of the committee that selects, of course, candidates for the general elections, the screening committee. So I understand some other people are challenging him, and why not? You sit down there, just as, of course, the fella in Sangre Grande, sit down there, say nothing, and when you do speak, you speak out of turn, and of course, and politically, should I say, attached to the PNM, giving them praise unmeritoriously when in fact they deserve none. But go ahead. Anything else?
Yes, them is a non-functional minister.
Yes,
Things like that happening, they supposed to rectify that from day one, get involved and deal with that, because people want the goods for the Christmas season, you understand?
Yeah. I suppose these people are called cynicals. They have office with no work, but they get paid. They don't work, but they get paid. Cynicals, yes.
My partner Rushton Parry, they interviewed him tonight. He said he going for screening, and he ain't know what happened, but he throwing it out on the UNC and saying he's the best candidate for the area, and that he should be given the nod, right? But
yes,
we come and say on a different level now. He said, well, they ask him, well, if he ain't get the chance to go back up, what you gonna do? He said he might think in terms of going independent, or you never know, somebody might want him and he might take up the opportunity. But I dare he to go and join the PNM slate, right? After what the PNM do to this country, I dare Rushton Parry and the rest of them to join up with the PNM and come back.
They have put themselves in a vice grip. They have put themselves in a bind, and whichever way they take, if they are not selected, certainly will mark finally last rites for their political career or ambition. That's it.
Well, right.
That's it. Many of them have gone that way. We have seen too many of them not to know what the outcome will be.
That is what I say.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
I dare he and the others that join the PNM after what the PNM do to this country.
Man,
he will get a strong licking from wherever he comes.
Yeah. Let me try. It's after 10 already. Let me try to finish off here.
Yeah.
All right, my friend. Thanks. Yes, people. Of course. Let's continue with, of course, Wade Mark.
It is 17th of May, 2024. And the headline is, Naikwan gets default rating from CARICREST. And what we are being told here is that as at the 31st of March of 2024, Naikwan had owed its customers or had accumulated debts amounting to $450 million US. So up to the 31st of March 2024, Naikwan had accumulated some $450 million US. The question that we have to ask here and now, where did Naikwan, how was Naikwan, I should say, able to borrow all its funds through different banks, through different note holders, amounting to $450 $150 million US. Republic Bank did not lend them monies in TT dollars. The debentures, the mortgage debentures are showing that they borrowed monies from the RBL, Republic Bank Limited, in US currency, amounting to $175 million.
Don't forget, people, of course, we are talking about where the money gone. And, of course, we want our money back. Where the Forex has gone, and we want our money back. So, listen to where it went under the mismanagement of that resource. And now, of course, they played holier than thou, talking about they wanted to talk, of course, to the stakeholders and those who are dependent on foreign exchange. Hold your tail, Ibsbert. Hold your tail, Rowley. Hold your tail, PNM. Get the hell out of office. That is what you should do. You have mismanaged the resources of the country in ways such as that, and give people, of course, as Tanku said, you had a foreign exchange cabal that you were, of course, focusing on and giving all of the foreign exchange, or who, because they know automatically they will get, they decide to abuse and misuse and be profligate about it and have nothing to show or in return, and they therefore leaves taxpayers at the mercy of a government, a society, a 1%, where we are looking down the barrel of a failed state. That is what we are looking at. A failed economy and a failed government led by Keith Christopher Rowley. Let's continue.
That is where we are at today. There are some very important players that have invested, according to our information, into Naikwan, and they invested in US currency that ordinary people cannot obtain. Who is looking after the taxpayers' interests? Who is looking after the public interests in this matter? Then we have Petrotrin Legacy. They sold the plant to Naikwan for $35 million US. Naikwan gave to Petrotrin $25 million US in what is called preferential shares. And they were supposed to pay $10 million US in cash.
I want to pause here, of course, the people. We will continue tomorrow night with, of course, Wade Mack and his expose as to where the foreign exchange gone, where we money gone. And Rowley and his minions, we want our money. We must get our money. Blue lights and silver bracelet are begging. That being as a bit, of course, we have come, of course, to the end of tonight's program. Don't forget tomorrow morning, the ground report, Andy, Mikey, and myself. And, of course, I love this Chinese parang. And, of course, let's conclude with that.
Christmas last year, I spent in China. I had some fun in Chinatown. In front my door, out on the street, I heard music, it was sounding sweet. I look outside to see who was playing. It was some Chinese playing music for me. Wang sing, pong pong, chang sing, woo wang, pong wang chong. That's how they song. Ching-ling, ching, ching-ling, pang, pong sing, pong wing, wang woo wing. That's how they sing. Chinese parang, Chinese parang, Chinese parang, wang wang wang, Chinese parang. Chinese parang, give me just to Kaisan.
One time, two time, two time. Oh.
I open my door and invite them in. The leader of the band start introducing. One name Ling Long, he write the song. One name Lin Sing, he kept on singing. Mr. Ping Chang was the main quattro man. Ah Chong and Lee, they were back up for he. Pong sing, pong pang, wong sing, wong wong, pong sang chong. That's how they sung. Jingling wang, jingling pong bang, pong sing wing, pong bang ching. That's how they sing. Chinese parang, Chinese parang, Chinese parang, wang wang wang. Chinese parang, Chinese parang, Chinese parang. Give me just to Kaisan.
Oh yeah, 1, 2, 3, yeah.
The girls in the band sounding real sweet. I had no choice but to move my feet. Suli on tuk tuk, Kim Loy on bass, Mailing dancing and rolling she waist. Mr. Ping Shang kept on in me quattro, but what they saying I really don't know. Wang sing wong wang, pong sing pong pong, pong sing pong chong. That's how they song. Jingling ling, jingling wang, song sing pong pong, wang pong ping ping. That's how they sing. Chinese parang, Chinese parang, Chinese parang, wang wang wang. Chinese parang, Chinese parang, Chinese parang. Give me just to Kaisan.
Kali dah kan lai, kali dah kan lai. Alright. Oh.
I told them take a break and eat piece of cake, but they told me no, let's get on with the show. When they finished sing, they came in my kitchen and at my table they were staring. I offered them ham, turkey and fowl, but all they wanted was just to cat and fowl. Pong sing, pong pong, chong sing, wong wong, pong song pong. That's how they song. Jingling wang, jingling ping, pong sing, pong.